Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing today? I want to speak a little bit about Jonathan Majors. So this morning, Jonathan Majors did his first interview since the trial. Um, a trial which he was found guilty of. I'm sorry, a couple of weeks ago. He got found guilty on misdemeanor charges. He had a altercation with his ex girlfriend Grace Jabari. He was found guilty on misdemeanor charges. Shortly after he got found guilty of these misdemeanor charges, he was let go from Marvel Studios. Now, my theory is this a humiliation ritual? Because that is what it seems like to me. Um, as some of you may know, Jonathan Majors was an up and coming star, and I don't know what happened. I feel like Hollywood wanted to have some type of hold on him. I feel like they are posturing him to be the new Will Smith. And they wanted to hold something over his head. Perhaps he said no to somebody on the casting couch. He did a Kent Williams and said you got to protect all your holes, right? So maybe he didn't want to bend over like Kevin Hart, but like I felt like it was some humiliation ritual, right? And so I also find it fascinating that he said he met this lady right here, Grace Jabari, in 2020. He said he started to notice, I guess the toxicity in the relationship early on, but he should have been more careful with her heart. I don't know what that meant. But the thing that I found most interesting was that one reason why I'm saying it's a humiliation ritual is because I find it interesting that the very company that fired him is the very company that did the first interview on him. Because if you don't know, Good Morning America is owned by Disney, and Disney also owns Marvel Studios. And Marvel Studios is where he was fired from, really kind of before he got, out of the courtroom. Before him and Megan, I'm sorry, got out of the courtroom, right? He was fired from the studio, right? So he's a very talented actor. He graduated from Yale, from the dramatic arts, or whatever you call it, or whatever they go to school for to be an actor. Anyway, he graduated from Yale. They put this little, in my opinion, this little hit piece out on him in Rolling Stone magazines because they're saying the title reads Jonathan Majors' extreme abuse allegedly goes back nearly a decade. So they put this out in Rolling Stone, but very interestingly enough, none of these women that he had allegedly been abusive towards, none of these women came forward. And in this day and age, we know if something like that had happened to you in the past, honey, you're going to come forward and try to get you a check, right? So I just found it very interesting, right? So anyway, um, going back to the interview, I'm thinking, is this a humiliation ritual? Anyway, so he does the interview, and he's talking to Lindsay Davis. He's very emotional about the interview. She's asking him a lot of questions. Um, he talks about they talk about some things that were said and done in the trial. One thing that was done in the trial, that there was either, I think, this voicemail, and in his voicemail he's talking to Grace Jabari, and he's saying, quote, maybe I'm such a monster and horrible man that I don't deserve it and should just kill myself, right? So she asked him what that was about, and he said that he pretty much, he was just saying that because he felt like he played with her heart or whatever, right? And he also said the reason why he mentioned to ill myself or whatever, he said he suffered from PTSD due to childhood trauma, right? And so he stated that he had these thoughts mostly in his 20s, which is, I'm thinking, around college, or when he is having to remove himself from a bad or toxic situation. But he also stated that he's working on that, right? So he kind of had to fall on the sword a little bit. And this is another reason why I'm saying, I'm wondering if this was some type of humiliation ritual, right? Because clearly, if he graduated from Yale, he's an up and coming actor. He don't want to, just leave acting, right? And I don't think that they want him to leave acting either. But I just think they had to, maybe, they felt like he was too proud, or they needed to have something on him. He wouldn't bend to their will. We don't know what was going on in the background. And I also found it interesting that um Megan was in the background. His girlfriend was in the background when he was taping the interview. And she was looking really concerned, with everything that he was saying. And I found that, I'm thinking, okay, you go, girl, all right. And he says the relationship between him and Megan is new, but child, she feel like his Coretta. And the reason why I'm laughing is because he had the Grace Jabari lady had played a some audio that she had taped of him saying that she needs to be his Coretta and his Michelle Obama, right? And I had to laugh at that, but and she asked him, Lizzie Davis asked him, why he said that, and he said that was him giving an example of, what kind of woman that he needed to support him, while he's building up his stardom, right? So so now, child, I guess he done found this Coretta, child. I don't know. I hate to laugh, but oh my goodness. So anyway, like I said, Megan was in the background. She was looking really concerned. I thought that was really sweet. Um, I questioned if this relationship was real, because there are we know, those of us that have been paying attention to Hollywood, sometimes they will put, actors together, and it ain't the first time, it won't be the last. Put actors together so that, it could build up their, prominence, or, get them better press, or whatever. And I felt like they coupled him with Megan Good, maybe allegedly, because they needed to appeal to his, to his base, which are mostly black people, in my opinion, you know. So I don't think and that she also questioned and said if he thinks that he will ever act again, and he says that he thinks that he feels that he's deserving of another chance, and he hopes so, right? But one thing I found interesting about the trial, before I let you go, is the fact that now we know, we've all seen the video, right, of this Grace Jabari person chasing after him. Now he's also stated that had it been the other way around, he would have been arrested immediately. But she's chasing him down the street. They showed camera footage of him staying at the hotel that night. He had the forethought to call the police when he went back to the apartment the next morning. And they made a big deal out of a couple of scratches that she had on her. But interestingly enough, and I didn't know this until I saw the interview this morning, that they deemed the scratches that he had on him from her inadmissible. The judge said that his injuries were inadmissible, right? So both of them basically had scratches. But it was inadmissible for him, but admissible for her. And I was like, okay. I found it very interesting. So she scratched him, and drug her nails through him like a couple of times, right? And he said, and so Lindsay Davis asked if there's anything that he would have done differently, and he said he would not have tried to put her back in the car, because he was trying to get her in the car. We saw on the tape, and that is the reason why um they charged him with misdemeanor charges. Like he didn't hurt her on purpose. He hurt her trying to put her back in the car, and he said he wished that he would not have even tried to, put her back in the car. He wished that he would have just gotten out of the car and ran, you know. And I'm thinking, because I feel like this was some kind of humiliation ritual, I felt like either way, I just really feel like it was a setup. Like, why are you taping your boyfriend and you're having an argument, but you're getting it on audio only to share in front of the world when you decide you want to press charges on him, and she's an actress as well, and so the whole thing just seems really weird to me. It don't. And then you know, he's hoping that he won't have to serve time. And I'm thinking, well, he probably won't have to serve time for a misdemeanor, especially when they said he didn't they couldn't charge him with like domestic violence or anything like that. Because they pretty much, had a fight. It was mutual combat, you know what I mean? And then for the fact that she was chasing after him says a lot to me. And so I just found it just really weird. And then the planting of the story. This is the reason why I called it. My theory is that this whole thing was a humiliation ritual, right? And I just hope that I just wish clearly he's going to still be working for Disney, because if Disney actually fired him, he wouldn't be doing an interview on with one of their companies, right? Which is Good Morning America. Why would he be doing an exclusive interview on one of their news channels, right? So this is all scripted in my opinion. This was some kind of humiliation ritual. Like I said, I think that Grace Jabbar, I think they planted her, on him in the first place back in 2020. I think they wanted to, set him down for a minute to make, Hollywood wanted to let him know that, we made you and we can break you. That's sort of kind of the same thing they did with Will Smith, in my opinion, because I also felt like what happened with Will Smith and Jada was stemming back from 2016, if you will. Because if you guys remember in 2016, Jada started that Oscar So White campaign, and in that Oscar So White campaign, the Oscars, the Oscars board and the officiants over the Oscar awards, they were really embarrassed by that. Hollywood was embarrassed of the lack of diversity that still occurs in Hollywood. We're seeing it. More black actors and actresses are speaking out. Kat just spoke out the other day. We've heard Taraji P. Henson. We've been done heard from Monique. Just many, not many, but a few black actresses. Octavia Davis has spoken up about the lack of diversity in Hollywood, as well as the low pay that black Hollywood actors get. And so anyway, um, so Jada came out with that Oscar So White back in 2016, and I find it very interesting that Will Smith, who has protected his career for decades, right? All of a sudden walks up on stage and slaps Chris Rock across the face in front of the world. Now, if that wasn't now, I don't know what they had over Will in order to make him get up and pretty much do something like that in front of the world. But whatever it was, it had to be powerful. You know what I mean? For him to get up. And then also on the very same night that the first black producer produces the Oscars, that is the night that Will Smith chooses to go up there and smack Chris Rock, another black man, in the face. Now, if that doesn't speak to a humiliation ritual, I don't know what was. But I think that Will Smith, and then they went on to give him the freaking Oscar. Now, if that's not a humiliation ritual, I don't know what you call it. And then they proceed to put him to barring him, pretty much from the Oscars for 10 years. Well, they want to do that back in 2016, and I hope that Jonathan Majors would think about that. I hope that whatever it is that they are, trying to get, um, over on him. And then you know what this is beyond a humiliation ritual. What it is, in my opinion, is buck breaking. And that's what Kate Williams was talking about. You know, and if they didn't want to, if he wouldn't let Hollywood break him one way, they figured they would break him another way, right? But it would be great if Jonathan Majors wouldn't still be fooling with Marvel Comics or Disney or or any of them. It would be great to see that. But this is his craft, and it seemed like He might be a couple of cans short of a 6 pack of Mountain Dew anyway. So I don't know, you know. But as far as him and Megan, I don't know about that either. But child, we gonna have to wait and see. But y'all let me know what y'all think of this theory that I have concerning Jonathan Majors, because all of it is pretty like it's just real shady to me. Just like the Will and Jada thing was shady. This whole Jonathan Majors situation is shady, and I think that they're really posturing him to be the next Will Smith, but they had to make him bend the knee first, right? So notice they didn't call him King the Conqueror, they call him Kang the Conqueror, right? And that within itself is shade, in my opinion. But like I said, child, we're gonna have to wait and see. And for the fact that he is still willing to fool with these people in Hollywood, it's very interesting, But they know, that he really wants to pursue his acting career. He's a really great actor, you know. I think I'm not even gonna tell y'all what Cat Williams said about him, because Cat does not, Cat he don't hold no punches, right? He just let it all out, right? But whatever the case, and then also Cat said he was scared of them pink women, right? He was scared of them. He said he loved all women, but he just flat out scared of them pink women. But when you see something like this going on, is it any wonder why Cat said he's scared of, he ain't trying to deal with them pink women, especially when it come to Hollywood? You might get jimmied up like Jonathan, child. But I'm thinking his big nose could sniff all that effery going on surrounding him, child. So anyway, and another thing, they said they fired him from Marvel, but I think that the parent company Disney, they still have him under contract. That's why they got him doing this exclusive interview. Right now, it's going to be interesting if we see him interviewing on any other network. That is very telling. So y'all pay attention to that. But like I said, honey, he said he done found his Coretta girl. So we gonna have to look. We gonna have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. Please like, share, subscribe this video. If you subscribe to my channel, please hit that notifications bell so that you will be notified when I drop another video or decide to go live. Okay, thank y'all so much. Have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye. Peace.